You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. And before we get started, I want to let you know that I did mention at the very beginning of this Friday review that I would be going over my tick-based protocol. Unfortunately, it was not included in today's show, and I want to let you know that I will be giving you the exact tick protocol that I used myself when I got bit by a tick just about 3 weeks ago. So I finished my protocol, and I'm happy to say that I am feeling great. No ill effects from that tick bite. So what I want to do is pay it forward, pass along the protocol that I use whenever you need to drastically boost your immune system in order to kill any type of serious bacteria or even virus in the body, but this is mainly bacterial based. I will share that with you, I promise, next Friday on the Friday review. So I hope that you enjoy today's show. It's still action-packed, a lot of details from the research that I've been going through, and so much more. So enjoy today's show, and the tick protocol will be coming in next Friday review. Take care. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Great to have you here with me today, getting started on this Friday review where we're going to be going through the best of the week. Love being able to sit down with you on Fridays and kind of recap the week. What have I been going through in our practice with our integrative health practitioners? All sorts of different things that we've seen over the past 7 days, and we have a lot to share with you today. I also been getting a lot of questions, a lot of messages around the tick bite protocol that I used myself personally and have recommended in the past for those that have bitten by a tick, and they're simply not sure if that tick contained the bacteria that causes Lyme disease. So I want to go through that with you today. I want to share that with you. A lot of product reviews coming in the near future, but also some great research, and I can't wait to share that with you as well today. We'll cap it off with a couple of different lab tests that you can use instead of actually opting for a colonoscopy. And so I'll be going through all of that today and much more. So without further ado, let's dive right into the show. So what I want to go through is just two simple, quick recaps from this week. So the first one is this. On Tuesday, we did 2 hours of calls with our integrative health practitioners. Once a month, one of my favorite things to do is sit down with all of our integrative health practitioners, level 1, and our main group, level 1 and 2. And what we do is we go through what they're dealing with their own health or with the different protocols that we offer and how they can use that information to heal themselves and heal others. So that was obviously a great time being able to speak with everyone on those calls and getting to see a lot of the same questions. So what I want to do, and I've just kind of really been thinking about this over the past couple of months, but what I want to do is create a little bit more of an in-depth course. Not as in-depth as the integrative health practitioner, which is really what I do in my practice. It's for you to essentially copy, to do exactly what I do, and goes much more in depth than my book, The Rain Barrel Effect, which still is in depth at 400 pages. So, that is essentially 40 plus hours of video content, 50 plus handouts. That's all contained in level 1. And level 2 is the ability to learn about 7 different functional medicine lab tests that people can do right at home, and you can begin to use those with yourself and others as well. So, I'm a big fan, obviously, of the program. I created this because it's what I wish that I had many, many years ago. And I think it's what the world wants and what it's ready for right now. I really do. I believe that people are just ready right now to take back control of their own health. And so if this is one more way that they can do so, then I feel like I'm doing my job, that I'm doing, I'm serving some purpose in the world. And so that makes me, feel good about what I'm doing on a daily basis and working hard to try to promote in the world. But the other part is this. I'm going to create what I've just, again, come up with over the last couple of months are these micro courses that you can digest in a day. So maybe they're 3 hours long or so, and more in depth than you would get in, let's say, obviously reading an article, right? An article might take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes to read. So this could be 3 hours, and it's going to be somewhat like the Integrative Health Practitioner course for those that have taken it. But it's going to be on one topic. So it'll be on like thyroid and all the symptoms that come around with thyroid, which would be the water retention, weight gain, thinning hair, dry skin, low energy, brain fog, poor circulation, etc. And so it'll be just on thyroid. And here's the protocol I use in my practice for low thyroid. Here's the protocol I use if you want to do your own lab testing. And so if you think, because I would love to hear your feedback, if you think that this is a good idea, let me know, whether on Instagram, that's the easiest place. So it's just my name on Instagram. It's Stephen Cabral, and that's Stephen with a PH, STEPHEN CABRAL. I'd love you to let me know on this post today on Instagram. And just let me know what topics you would like me to create courses on. I know I'll create one on thyroid. I know I'll create one on weight loss. I'll give you my exact, protocols for helping people lose weight and keep it off for life. No crazy dieting, no crazy plans. Like, this is what we do for life. And I know that I'm going to create a couple others, and that will be based on what feedback will be, but whatever we have the greatest call for. So sleep is a big one. I'll be working on that with people. Thyroid's a big one. Female hormones is a big one. Weight loss is a big one, but let me know. I'd love to hear it. And if there's enough interest in it, I'm going to create these, I don't want to say micro courses, but it's a whole course. And it's my goal that could you set aside 3 hours or so one day to learn all about your thyroid without having to read a 400-page book on just your thyroid or whatever it might be, or kind of forgetting about it. So this will be for you to go through it. It will give you handouts. It will give you step-by-step the protocols that I use with private clients that we help all around the world. So again, I don't know yet that this is a definite, but if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, the IHPs kind of, by their questions, I saw, okay, even the integrative health practitioners, I think they would benefit from these in-depth courses as well. So let me know on that. I'd love to hear your feedback. Really, that is obviously what I look for, is, does this matter to you? And that's why I created the integrative health practitioner course and certification in the first place. Over and over, people asked, will you create a certification? If not, what certifications do you recommend? And it took more than 2 years, but I did it. These courses won't take that long. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. And of course, now we're approaching our 1,000th member in the integrative health practitioner. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you, everyone, as always, for your support. Next up, I want to go over starting this Monday. Let me get the date for you. I believe it's the 24th because it's been circled on my calendar for quite some time. This will be my summer detox and our summer community challenge, our detox for people joining in all around the world doing our detox. I know that it's not summer over in Australia and some of the other great countries of people that we work with, but I do it 4 times a year. So I got mine in the first week of April, the week before the 4th of July here in the US. That's kind of like the official start to summer, 4th of July. And then I will be doing one mid-September, and then I'll be doing one the second week or third week of January. Those all announcements always happen inside of CabralSupportGroup.com. And those who sign up for the EquilibriumNutrition.com newsletter. Okay, so what is it? Well, it's our 7-day detox for those people that want to do a 14 or 21 day, especially if they've never done one before. Highly recommended. What we do is we just get our functional medicine detox. EquilibriumNutrition.com sells a 7, 14, and 21 day. And we join together. I do a daily post, or my team members are doing a daily post as well, inside of CabralSupportGroup.com. It's a free Facebook group. I typically am posting Instagram stories about it. And it's just a lot of fun because we know that we need to do it, but it's like, do we really want to do a detox? All right, I've got to do the 7 days and follow the nutrition, all those things. But the truth is that there's really no one that ever regrets doing it and feels so much better and happier that they did. So it's my whole body reset is what I do every 12 weeks to really help give my liver that much more support to get rid of the toxins that I've been accumulating just naturally being a human in 2019 and beyond in this toxic world that we live in. So can't recommend it enough. If you want more details on it, we'll link it up in the show notes. Today's episode is StephenCabral.com/1232. That's where all the show notes will be. And it gives us a nice, so hopefully, again, I hope to read your comments and interact with you over at cabralsupportgroup.com. All right. So now what I want to go over are two studies, and this is a good segue into that. So I don't do the detox anymore for weight loss. I shouldn't say that. Right now, going into the 4th of July, I'd like to lose about 3 or 4 pounds. Well, absolutely. So I won't say that I won't do it at all for weight loss. But sometimes, and a lot of the time, I'm not doing it for weight loss. I'm looking at to get healthier. And maybe I lose a couple pounds, but I just put that back on afterwards. It's not the goal. For people who are looking to lose weight, though, the detox is unlike anything else. It's not a fad diet. It's not meant to throw your body in one direction or the other. It's meant to actually balance hormones, balance blood sugar, balance healthy inflammation levels, and really reset the body. And it works tremendously well. So if you're looking to lose weight, 21 Day is absolutely the place to start. But here's the thing. I do it for overall health, and you can use it for weight loss, and it works really well for that. The reason why I mention that is this, is that obesity-related cancers are beginning to increase in not only adults, meaning let's say like over, not just 18 and over, let's say over 35, but it's actually happening in young adults. We're talking those in their 20s. Getting obesity-related cancers as well as all of the side effects that come along with having 30, 40, 50 plus pounds of weight that their body does not need. And I mean by that the joint pain, the immune issues. But what this study looked at right here was this. There were 6 different types of cancer that they saw that rose, statistically speaking, from 1995 to 2014. So over a 20-year period of time, they saw even young people, again, this is people born after the year 1980, they were twice the risk of even older adults now. So you can't tell me that a lot of this does not have to do with the toxic nature of the world. Each and every year, there's thousands more, not just hundreds more, there's thousands more chemicals added to our environments. And again, I talk about those in the rain barrel effect, whether it be pesticides or heavy metals or toxic rain, all of these things now. Really important to look at it. So here's what they found. Colorectal cancer on the rise, endometrial cancer, gallbladder, kidney, myeloma, and pancreatic cancer all on the rise for young adults and related to obesity. So this is going to play into the next study that I just talked about, but we have to be so careful that we talk more to our children and those that we can affect online, social media. Let's get more knowledge out there to people because it's not taught in the media about how to eat healthy, about how to detox, about at least a 12-hour overnight intermittent fast, about exercising, that it's not just about vanity and how you look. It's about getting your metabolism moving, getting your body moving. So extremely important. This was done by Hyuna Sung, a cancer epidemiologist with the American Cancer Society, and this was published in the Lancet Public Health. So I'll link that up today at stephencabral.com/1232. And the second study, which I believe blends into this as well, was done on diet soft drinks or colas. I won't name any particular brands, but I will link up the study so that you can read more about it. But what it looked at was this, that those people who consumed 2 or more diet drinks per day were 29% more likely to have heart disease, 31% more likely to have a stroke, and 16% more likely to die from any other cause. And they looked at all the correlations that added up to 50% more risk. So twice the risk than those people not drinking diet soft drinks every day. Now, again, don't think of this as just, I'm not drinking cola or something like that. I'm drinking a, artificially sweetened tea or an artificially sweetened water. All of it matters. It's the artificial sweetener that's a big part of the issue. So I can tell you for sure, I couldn't find all of the sweeteners that they looked at, but I found saccharin and I found aspartame. So really important that we know, again, the FDA will say, these are safe until this limit. Please don't believe that. Really don't believe that an artificial substance is safe for you to consume. It's really not. I had this debate and discussion. I gave a talk last week. Time flies. It really does. I can't even believe that it's going to be the 4th of July in 2 weeks. It's completely insane. But time moves quickly. It really does. And that's why we need to be diligent on a daily basis. But I was giving a talk 2 weeks ago, And the question came up, what would you rather do? A little bit of sweetener or artificial sweetener? And I said, it's not even a question. If it's under 8 grams of sugar, I'll do regular sugar any day of the week. So if you want to show me a little bit of cane sugar, if you want to show me a little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of raw honey, which, by the way, maple syrup and raw honey could even be medicinal. You can look at it in terms of minerals and the ability to shuttle certain nutrients into the cells, or even some stevia. And then there's other ones as well. So there's natural fruit-based sweeteners. I don't have a problem with those. I do not have a problem with those, okay? If you're going to patent certain forms of stevia, and it's no longer stevia like they did to sugar, right? They created sucralose, which we call Splenda. That's not okay, right? That's because that's no longer natural at all. But if you want to show me one of the extracts, I'm okay with that. Okay? I don't think we should overdo any form of sugar, but I'm okay with that. But don't show me like any artificial sweetener and say, is this okay? It's not. I can't say it's okay because I don't know the upper limit for what's too much for one individual versus another. One individual may consume it their whole life. Like this study right here, done on 81,000 women. I believe it was just women. I can link that up for you as well. But over 81,000, they looked at this analysis. And it was a huge analysis over many different organizations. So I like that. I like that it looked at quite a large segment. And what this study also did, and this was published in the journal Stroke, and I'll link this up as well, it ruled out other factors for cardiovascular disease. So they took out, okay, well, this person smokes, this person drinks alcohol. Well, they took that out. And that's why it was clean. It really was. I know it's all kind of like statistical and survey-based and that, but they took out a lot of the factors that they should be looking at, which was great. So they remove those and just say, okay, well, yeah, this person consumed artificial sweeteners, but they also smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. Of course, that's going to be worse, and there will be an increase, but we ruled out for that. So here's the big takeaway, because I could go on and on about this, is that the less we move away from clean, natural, whole food, the worse we're going to be. Now, do I believe in a place for herbs and all of that? Of course. Like that, again, that's part of Ayurvedic medicine. It's part of Native American medicine, Hawaiian medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, all these different forms of medicine that I've studied for many years. They all believed in it, and they all agree that you can take extracts, you can do these things. That's great. But they all started naturally. When I say artificial, I literally mean created in a lab. That it's an artificial sweetener, that it's not bioidentical to anything in the body, that the body doesn't even know what it is. It has no idea what to do with aspartame. It has no idea what to do with this thing that we call sucralose or Splenda, right? Because it's been molecularly changed. For those people who don't know, is they actually took out the people like, oh, well, it's 99% sugar, sucralose or Splenda. And I say, you're right. But do you know what that other 1% are technically just one molecule that they changed? So it's not 99%, but do you know the one molecule they changed? It was a chlorine molecule. They added chlorine to a sugar-based molecule or glucose-based molecule. So when you look at that, you say, yes, but that's totally changed, right? It's totally changed. It's no longer an extract from sugar. It's a lab-created form of an artificial sugar. So that's what I recommend is just, again, staying clean. If you have a little bit of sugar, keep it to 1 teaspoon or less, whatever it is. Keep it less than 8 grams so it doesn't have that blood sugar spiking effect. And then, again, you can use a few of the other more natural 0-calorie sweeteners as well. All right, we're going to keep it at those 2 studies for today. And now I'd like to move on to a lab test because we get so many people in my practice. They're asking, do I have to or should I be doing a test for colon cancer? Meaning, should I be doing a colonoscopy? And so I always ask them, let's go through your risk factors. And we go through them. And I say, has anybody in your family ever been diagnosed with cancer? Has anybody in your family ever been diagnosed with colon cancer? Have you ever had colitis or Crohn's or diverticulitis or any irritable bowel disease? So we go through all of those. But then, inevitably it ends up with, well, the recommendation is for basically anyone over the age of 50 or at least 55 should do a colonoscopy. And you know what? The compliance on colonoscopies is actually very, very low. A lot of people don't follow through with it and don't do it. Now, here's the thing. Detecting colon cancer is important because it's a slow-growing cancer, so that if you do catch it, there's a lot that you could do either naturally or conventional medicine-wise in order to cure that. And I use that in air quotes because, again, only medical doctors can talk in the cure quotes. So That's what people are given. Now, there are other options, though, for those people that choose not to do a colonoscopy. I'm not telling you whether to do a colonoscopy or not. I'm actually not completely against a colonoscopy. I'm really not. I just don't think that you need to do one yearly or probably even every 5 years, because colon cancer is a slow-growing cancer. But if you did one at 50 or 55 and another at 65 and 75, then you'd probably be done. Like, I'm not saying you're not going to live well past 80, but if you don't have colon cancer at 75, there's a lot of debate out there. Do you need to do it again, since colon cancer is such a slow growing? So let's say you got colon cancer at 82, 15 years before it might take, larger effects on the body. You're in your late 90s. I don't know. Again, I don't have the answer for you on that, because I believe this is personal and people should do what is best for their health. But again, there are more natural ways to do the colonoscopy drink that you consume. But I also say, if you're doing a colonoscopy, do it right. Do a detox a week later or 3 days later. Do a sauna the day after the colonoscopy or that night. Do a detox starting in a couple days. Just get all that stuff out of your system that you had to consume to clean out your bowels. Essentially, I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just giving you options, because I know how many people don't do it, but you still need to check. So there's 2 things to do, and I don't even know if I can find the article right in front of me right now. See if I can find it. Yes, right here. This research was actually done by, Thomas Imperiali. He's a medical doctor, research scientist at Renenstreif Institute in Indianapolis, and the lead author of a study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine. It basically said if you're at risk for any of the factors for colon cancer or other forms of cancer affecting typically the bowels, it is good to do what's called, if you don't want to do a colonoscopy, so this is his statements as well, that you could do what's called a fecal immunochemical test, FIT, or a fecal occult blood test, FOBT. And it's about 75 to 85% effective at detecting cancers. And if blood is found, then you could do a follow-up colonoscopy. I thought this was a really smart way of doing it. It's what we've been doing in our practice for 8 years now. And again, I learned this, of course, from other people. I didn't make this up. But we've been doing a stool test in our practice. We predominantly do it for parasites. We do it to look for H. pylori. We do it to look for bacterial overgrowth. It's an amazing test. It's a 3-day test. And there's actually a card in it that's called the fecal occult blood test. And all you're doing for those 3 days is you're taking a sample of stool and you are putting it in these little jars, little containers, and you mail it back to the lab. Super simple. And then one day you do a occult blood test, which is just put a sample of stool on a card and you mail that back. And what they look for is invisible blood. So it's basically invisible to the naked eye, but not under a microscope or a machine that's able to test it. And it looks for cancer, or it looks for blood that could potentially mean cancer. Now, it can mean other things as well. It could mean, again, Crohn's, colitis, irritable bowel disease, or syndrome in any type of way. It could mean polyps that are non-cancerous. It could mean hemorrhoids. So it's good to look for it. But if you did have it come back positive, that might be your opportunity then to say, yes, I should go get a test. I should go have a colonoscopy test done where they can actually go in with a camera. They can take biopsies of any polyps that they do find, or they could look for any inflammation. So that's kind of a middle ground. And then there's one more that you could do. So that's a mail-away stool test. I can link that up for you at stephencabral.com/1232. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right one. And again, you can do this with your medical doctor as well. Just ask for a FIT test, a fecal immunochemical test. And the other one is the fecal occult blood test. That's what we do as part of the stool test, which also tests for parasites, etc. It's not cancer diagnostic. I don't want to say that it is, okay? It means that, you found blood. Now let's go for a diagnostic test, okay? But it's an easier, less invasive way to do it. And the other way is a CEA test. Okay, and the CEA test stands for Carcinoembryonic Antigen Test. That's Carcinoembryonic Antigen Test. I will link up the Mayo Clinic article on this. I'll see if I can find that for you. And this is a blood test. So you could be going in for your annual labs, let's say, with your PCP, and just say, hey, my mom or dad or one of my grandparents had colon cancer or another form of cancer. Could I run the CEA blood work? And you're already running your blood anyways. Why not add that on? This won't just look for colon-based cancer, but it looks at thyroid, breast cancer, lung cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, and other forms of cancer in the body with pretty great accuracy, without a doubt. And so then if you do find, let's say, a CA level above 3 nanograms per milliliter, so you're just looking for 3, and then on the blood work, it'll say NG over or /ml, you'll want to do more in-depth test. So again, if it's over a 3, you'll now know how to read that lab. And sometimes it's not always cancer, okay? It could be an infection, a chronic infection right now. It could be something to do with liver-based cirrhosis, something going on with the liver. It could be an irritable bowel disease or some type of intestinal-based bleeding. And also for those people that are chronic smokers, that can show up positive as well. But it's one more reason that we need to quit smoking because it's so dangerous for your overall health. So I'm going to link all of those up today. The fecal immunological test, immunochemical test, the fecal occult blood test, the CEA test, and all things that you have at your disposal. So again, my job with the Cabral concept is to make sure that I get this information out to you. You might not be using it within the next maybe months or years, but pass it on to a parent, a grandparent, a sibling, a coworker who may need this information. That's really what it's all about. We honestly have to look out for each other. There's no one else giving us this information, and so I do hope that it serves you well. And as always, if this show was helpful, please do feel free to pass it along to anyone you believe it could serve. And one more thing I just saw in my notes that I did not bring you is letting you know I just did an interview with Christine Hassler over on her podcast, which is Over It and On With It with Christine Hassler. And it's an amazing podcast. I was introduced to her not too long ago, just probably about 2 months ago. Our schedules are so crazy. She's equally as crazy with me with traveling all over, speaking, all those things. But we were able to connect, and it was actually a great conversation. I was on her podcast, and I had just heard so many great things about her and her life coaching that she does. I wanted to be able to share those with you. And a lot of them are relationship-based, and I don't always talk about relationships and relationship-based advice. Not really my forte per se. It's not what I'm an expert in. So I try to leave that to other experts. So hopefully you tuned in yesterday to my interview with Christine on my podcast, The Cabral Concept, obviously. We'll link that up, of course. But I was on and had the privilege of being on her show. What I'm going to do is actually embed or at least link to the interview I did on her show where we talked about all things functional medicine, integrative health. We talked about detoxes. We talked about thyroid. We talked about weight loss. We talked about boosting immunity. And we also talked about improving overall mindset. I do think that you'll enjoy that show, and I will link that up in today's podcast. A lot of links today. Head on over to stevencabral.com/1232. We will link it up all over there. Thank you so much for tuning in. And do stay tuned this weekend for our Cabral house calls. Have an amazing weekend, everyone. Take care. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.